I would say that love is like a system. So if we base it on 70 years of relationship building research and science, together with behavioral psychology, together with neuroscience and communication research, all of it point to the same conclusion. Love is not a feeling, it's actually a pattern the brain builds up over time. And if you understand the pattern, then you don't have to wait for some woman to love you out of thin air. You can actually start engineering it. And in this video, I will tell you how all of it actually works. So stick with me. So first, I want to talk about the myth about female preferences. Many times women think they want a guy that is of a certain height, of a certain hair color, who do have, specific traits that is very hard to put in tangible forms, such as I want him to be nice, I want him to treat me in a certain way, I want him to be confident, and so on. All those preferences are very shallow, and most of the time when women are meeting the guy they are very happy with, those men rarely fits into their previous preferences. And why I'm saying the previous preferences is because they are shifting depending on how she feels with the guys she's with. So with that said, preferences the women has doesn't mean much, because those are not connected with the pattern that gets built up over time when she's with someone. And it always builds up in women's brain. That is how they function. And now let's talk about the second point, which is the neuroscience, the behavioral psychology, and things that actually builds up in the brain when we are interacting and being with women. And one of the most important foundation for women to be able to feel attraction towards a guy, a man, is that she must feel a certain level of trust and a certain level of safety when she is with that man. Because without safety and trust, she won't be able to feel genuine attraction over time. That holistic attraction that is so important for love to be developed. So what is safety and trust today? Well, 2026, we mainly talk about emotional safety and emotional trust. That's what we're talking about here. And how can we actually build up that trust and safety? Well, we're doing it through communication. All right. So based on decades of research, we found out that the number one thing that makes a woman feel safe and trust you as a person, feel trust towards you, is understanding. We tend to trust people who understands us, and we tend to feel very safe with people that understands us. So understanding is the main part here in order to be able to take things further. So how can you communicate with a woman that actually builds safety and trust? Well, you're not doing it by telling interesting stories and being playful and funny. You're doing it by being curious about her and the willingness to understand the underlying reason on why she's doing things and why she's liking things. You want to understand her thoughts. And we are now entering the area of empathetic conversations. They are designed to build relationships through understanding. So if you can understand her perspectives in many different areas of her life, that is when you start understand her for real. And if you can demonstrate understanding towards her by using empathetic methods, then you're going to create a lot of safety and trust, which is so important to be able to move on, basically. And there is also something, an outcome with you being empathetic, and that is attraction. Because during the build-up of emotional safety and emotional trust, attraction sparks as a result of it. We have seen in MRI scans specific ones that measure the brain activity in female brains when they are interacting. And what we have seen from those imaging is that when they are talking in depth with a man who are really listening and demonstrate understanding, all the neurotransmitters that are linked to attraction, sexual attraction, bonding is getting released. That is a scientific fact. And as a result, she feels attraction towards you throughout the conversation she's having with you being an empathetic listener. So you're getting a lot of things in one blow here with the right type of communication. And that is that you build safety and trust and together spark attraction. That is so important for her to eventually get the neurochemical called oxytocin to get released. And that is the bonding hormone. That is the love hormone. So that is how it looks like for women to feel love towards you as a man. We have to go that route. Safety and trust is so important to have established that this is what you should focus on. And the rest will follow. This is not something that you can learn, quickly or something like that. It's something you have to start practicing on your day-by-day life and doing things so it becomes a habit. Once it becomes a habit, you will be competent enough to have great conversations that are built on building relationships, designed to build relationships. And that involves emotional connection, attraction, and eventually love. So who is this actually for when you think about it? Well, obviously, if you're a guy who wants to meet a new woman in your life, you need to set, the right elements in the beginning. So by doing the process as we talked about, you're going to establish lots of emotional safety and trust. And after that, it will be, very smooth for you to keep building that relationship towards real love that hopefully you will feel towards each other. But it can also be for men who have been stuck for so long with the same woman and you feel like the love is not really there. You might feel like you're loving her, but she doesn't give it back in the way that you want to. It's almost like you loving her a lot more than she loving you, and you want to balancing that up. Well, you can definitely do it with the right type of conversations that lead to emotional safety and emotional trust. And if there will be some emotional safety and trust already, you can strengthen it really, really hard, and as a result, the attraction sparks. So that is just such an amazing thing. And I also want to tell you that I do have a free video training for you, and you can find the link in the description. And when you click on it, you will get free access. And watch it. You will be amazed over how powerful it is to actually start connecting for real with women. So make sure to look it up. And now, let's now talk about love itself. I said in the beginning that love is not a feeling, it's more like a pattern in the brain, which is true, because the feeling we might think of is the falling in love feeling. That feeling is different from love itself. Love is more of an acceptance in the brain that is so strong that it's now a strong behavioral habit for you to be with a certain person. And it's hard for you to not be with that person because it's breaking that important habit she has being with you. You see? And when she breaking that habit, she might feel absolutely terrible. So we want to build certain things over time, being with the person, to have that foundation, and she become a part of you. You will be a part of her. That's how you say it. She will be a part. You will be a part of her. She cannot live without you. She have to, you just have to be there as a part of her. That is how the brain is building, building the attachment she has for men and also for you towards the women. There are different approaches between men and women, but we are now focusing on women, all right? How we can make them loving you. So that is how the whole process is working. I've seen long relationships that really didn't work out because the foundation wasn't there. All right. So once again, I want to emphasize on the importance to have the right foundation. And that foundation is nothing that we just guessing how it is. It's decades and decades of scientific research that came into the conclusion I mentioned in this video. And I don't want you to miss my future videos. I really don't, because I really want you to learn how to communicate with women in the right way to build that important connection we need in order to move things forward towards love. So make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my videos. And I hope to see you in the next video.